Hi, I'm Eluize. I'm here with Music Radar. We're going to make a track, a little bop, a little sketch from scratch today. I'm going to show you how I get going making a piece of music and then what I would do next. Coming up, I've got music coming out all the time, so keep your eyes peeled. There's an album on the way and yeah, lots of club tracks that I'm really excited for. So hope you enjoy. So I'm going to get started and I'm loading up a club template that I've got a little bit organized just with like all the different instruments, tracks that I might need to use. It does take a minute though. Here we go. Okay, so I've got my club template loaded up and it's just got all the different tracks that I might want to use. So I've got some vocal channels set up with a mic going in. I know I'm going to have some melodies because I always do. I've got an acid channel set up to record in through here. The really nice thing about the Push is that it can all just go in and be done in here. I don't have to mess around with external sound cards unless I want to. Kick drum. Okay, got a nice drum rack with all the different kicks I like to use. So we'll just, it's a very boomy one. Maybe we'll go up. It's a little 909-ish, very straight kicks to start with. Might add like a little hiccup later. What BPM are we? 130. Okay, cool. Let's start, turn up a little bit. And bass, need to add an instrument. So I'm going to choose a device and I've set up in my collections the different synths and sounds that I like. I really like this 106 for bass at the moment. I've got a lovely 106 at home, but a bit too tricky to tour with that one. Okay. Check what scale we're in, G minor, that's fine. Okay, little bass pattern. I'm gonna check the loop length here. I'm gonna start with a shorter loop length so that I can get it kind of going. Yeah. I'm happy with that pattern and I'm actually gonna just double the loop with the same pattern so that we can make some of them lower at the end. So have a little variation towards the end and I can select the notes that I want to make a different pitch here up the top. Those four, I reckon. And we'll just go down, maybe to an F. Yeah, that's nice. Cool, so I'm happy with that. If I head back, what I'm actually going to do is duplicate that bass and make a higher bass. That one's got kind of the subby content in it, and I might want like a higher one, just a little bit of extra growl. So duplicate the whole thing. And that has duplicated the clip as well with the pattern in. So I'll just play that. And we'll go into the clip view again and I'll select all of them. At the moment it's a bit too loud. And then if I hold down Shift, I can put it up an octave quite easily. So now what I would probably do is like roll off the sub in that one so that you keep that for like the sparkly toppy bits and keep the subby stuff from the other one. Okay, so what's next? Oh, the other thing I've got on here that I've set up on the where's my word? On the presets, on the template is a frequency split sidechain. I really like to use these on my bass so that we can knock out some of the like low end where the kick hits, but not lose like the top growly bit. So these are a bit fiddly to set up, so I've just got them set up there because I know I'm going to use them every time on my bass. Cool. Okay, so bass is good. Might head over, put some hats in. Again, I've got a rack with all my lots of different hats. Maybe that one. Little short ones, maybe nicer. And I'm just going to use this repeat feature here so that I can hold down the hat and like vary the pressure so that I get a bit of movement in it. Okay. Nope. Was already on. Hit record. volume down on that a little bit. And I'll also check the clip. Something else I quite like to do with the hi-hat MIDI loop or any kind of hi-hat loop is change the length of the loop so that it's not like on the floor as well, so that things kind of rotate around with a bit more of a polyrhythm. If I hold down shift, I can change the loop length to like 3.5 bars maybe, or any kind of strange thing that I like strange. All right. Next up, let's find maybe a pad, string. What have I got on here? Is there anything on there? No. It's just a pad that I quite like. I love these sort of airy, ethereal-ish pads. Nice thing is, I've just played that and I'm quite happy with it, so I can capture what I've played here, and I don't have to remember to be able to play it again, which is lovely. So I'll just correct the loop position. Where's the start? Shorten the loop. Those notes a little bit longer. Just in the MIDI editor up here. And another thing I really enjoy on my pads, if I have a look at the effects, so I put it on here. Let's have a look. The trance gate. This is like a preset in Ableton. Which gives you that stuttery, like, cute feeling. We can adjust the shape of that. Where are the macros? Put a bit more jitter on it. A bit more resonance. Just give it little party vibe. Okay, so next maybe a melody of some description. Where are we? Melodies up. So just solo that for a sec so I can hear what I'm working with. Got this instrument on here. It's not very gutsy though. Is that because I've got the dub echo? Too many effects on it. Okay, that'll be all right. Let's turn up so I can hear what I'm working with at the moment. If I go back to devices here, I've got an arpeggiator that I could use. Could do that. But actually, I really like the sequencer. This, I've got a little one set up here. One of the new sequencing tools in Ableton that's really, really nice. It looks a bit more like a step sequencer like you'd have on hardware, which I'm used to using, and find that I get lots of like little happy accidents. So this one's just got an ARP already programmed into it, which is not in key at all, but we can deal with that. I hold delete and hit the little pots here, it should reset them to 0. So, what have I got? want some like more octaves. Along the bottom, you've got, because we've got 16 steps, each step has its own little space. So octave 1 is the first set of steps if you want them up or down an octave, and octave 2 is the next lot. That's quite cute. Right, now I might go back to the sound because I want it to be like a little bit stronger actually. So I'm just adjusting the low pass frequency, the resonance. I can get to other layers of the different oscillators here. Change the wave, maybe? Detune it a little bit so it sounds a little bit like edgy. I think that'll be all right once we put some like effects and stuff on it. It's sounding like a little bit too clean for me in the moment, but I think we'll get that going. So I'll get, oh. A little bit of a dub echo maybe. What else have I got up here that's love that. The high one's bothering me a bit. That's right. Back in the dub echo, I'll just maybe turn some saturation and color up and a bit less of the echo. Maybe some auto pan to give it a bit of movement. We might, in the end, put like a side chain on that to sort of lock it in because it's a bit like soupy at the moment, but conceptually I think it's okay. All right, so then I might pop some acid in from this little guy. I've got it set to presets. I can choose from all sorts of different themes here and just find one that I like. I'm gonna have to re-pitch it. Let's see if we get any sound in. Check the inputs. Way too much delay on it. Where's that coming through? Just checking the sends here. I had it sent out to like, for some reason, a ton of different things. I want it a bit cleaner when I'm recording it. Try and find a pattern that I like. Maybe that's cute. A bit too full. find the pitch that's sounding right. I think it's... I want like a sparse-ish something. Maybe that one. Okay, so that arp is irritating me now, so I'm just going to mute it for a bit. Let's get some MIDI in. There we go, that's recording now. Got the MIDI, and I'm going to record some of the audio as well so that I can play around with the envelope and things. I'm happy that I've got the MIDI there so then I can send it back out if I want to change anything at a later date. So we'll just get a little bit now. I had fixed length loop turned on. If I actually turn that off, then we can get like a longer sweep, which I like. So we'll do another clip. So then when you've got like a nice long piece recorded, give the track a bit more movement. And you can save like quieter bits for breakdowns and now I can turn this friend off so we don't keep hearing it and just set the monitoring to auto, and now I can hear what I've recorded. Just check that that clip is like a sensible length so it will keep looping around, and that's fine. And it's warped it. It will warp it anyway if I wanted to break it up, but it's in time. So we're all good there. All right, let's see, what would I do next? Turn that down a tiny bit. Adding just a bit of reverb to the acid, and when I get this in the computer I'm going to put a lot of like distortion and other colour on it to give it a bit more flavour. So what else? While we're making our little loop up, I probably would record a little vocal of some kind, some spoken word something. So I've got a little notebook here that I keep for vocal ideas. So whenever I don't know, read something that I find interesting or write little notes, I've sort of tried to collect it all in here instead of having like voice notes and app notes and text messages to myself. So yeah, I'm just sort of, then when I'm writing something, I've got a little bit of inspiration, because sometimes it's hard to think of stuff on the spot. I don't know how like moody to go. Okay, that'll do. So I've got headphones here so that I can monitor and not get feedback. So that main room sound I'll mute for the time being. And I've got a little CB radio mic, which I really like, which I use for my live stuff. It's not the most like clear and true sort of sound, but I like that kind of telephone sort of effect. I'm just gonna check, hello. Check. Oh, there we go. That sounds better. Mute you. Hello. Just gonna turn this around. Okay. Hello. Okay, and I'm gonna record. Of all the ghosts I danced with, they did the things ghosts do. So I let them be the ghosts they were, became a ghost with you. Do another one just in case. Of all the ghosts I danced with, they did the things ghosts do. So I let them be the ghosts they were, became a ghost with you. All right. Get this out of the way. Let's see how that came up. All right, I'll unmute you here. And have a look at this vocal recording. Came in very quiet, but that's okay. So I let them be the ghosts they were, became a ghost with you. So that's very abrasive, but we're going to put lots of cute things on it. Of all the ghosts I danced with, they did the things ghosts do. I'm going to turn on my vocal delay and effects and bits. I think I'm going to take the second one, make the loop a bit shorter. Warping, so I'm going to see if it will get that in time. There was like a little bit of delay in the recording because of just latency. Loop position, where are we going? Loop length, start, offset. All right. Shorten the loop. Just going to get it the size, exact size that I want. And then we're going to crop it. Just check it with the metronome. All right. So I've got my vocal recorded in. I'm going to take that into the computer when we swap over in a minute and start doing the arrangement. I'll break it down into like a simpler or a sampler just so that I can play around with a few words and use it as more of like a peppered, expressive thing. I'm going to add some drums now, a few more drums, and then maybe a chord stab. And then I'm pretty happy with my loop, I think. So if I go over, I've got a kit channel ready that is like side chain to the kick drum and everything. And I'll just add a device. I'm going to go back to my collections again and Perkin drums and just pick a kit. I think I'm in the mood for a, it's not here. I want a 707, I reckon. So we'll just actually find it. Drums, shouldn't be too far across because it's a number at the start, which is nice. Maybe that one. All right. Oh no, I don't need this anymore. So, right. I want like a clap. Add some in. Very straightforward. Pattern, maybe a bit of a bit cheesy. Might actually going to add a few more little hi-hats as well. Just shorten this loop up a bit again so that we're not programming so much. I can actually change the velocity of a hit. If I hold it down, we zoom in here, this is really nice because sometimes I want this like a little ghost hit. All right, cool. And then the last thing I was thinking about adding was like maybe some chords. I'm gonna do like a little piano thing, I reckon. I want to add a MIDI track. I want it to be a sound, one of the little like piano ones, maybe this one. Pretty simple key, really. Not maybe the tuner again. Let that load up. And I've been experimenting with this expressive chords thing here as well, which has like a bunch of different chords programmed in for you, which is a nice hack. So that is a device, MIDI effect, expressive chords. And then you can sort of choose from different ones. I'm just going to take the generic one because it's got lots of different things in it and we'll be able to pick a few. And then over your pads, instead of it being notes, it's actual different like chord constructions, which is lovely for someone who's not like a super duper key player like me. Slow that for a sec so I can... It's quite like dubby, this sound, that's pretty. Okay. So... turn it up so I can hear. That's quite nice. Capture that. Nice. It's actually done what I wanted it to, except I want the loop to be a bit longer. Change the start. And there's one note in there that I don't love. So I'm just going to delete that one. I think my elbow hit it. All right, cool. So now I've got like a little bop. I've got a loop of a bunch of different things. I've got a lead that I'm playing around with, some vocal snips, I've got keys, pads, acid, bass, drums. I think that's everything. Cool. So now we'll get it over into the computer and start to map out an arrangement. All right. So I have like imported the session into the computer now so I can like spread it out, do my arrangement and do some other fiddly bits that I like to do on the laptop. And I've got the Push here now as a controller because it's just a really fun way to add some extra automation manually rather than like drawing it in with a mouse. So we'll have a listen to where we're at. I'll just play. All right. So those vocals, I'm just going to mute them for a second. Something I wanted to show you that I'll definitely do with the Push, it's got a new mode now and a different layout. Where is it? The XYZ macro here. And I'm gonna use that to manipulate the sound. what I would do is record this in across the timeline just to get some variations. It's quite cool, quite weird, really like it. Okay, so that's gonna be something that we'll do when we record in or at a later moment. And then the other thing that I said we were gonna do was get this spoken word a bit sorted out and into a little drum rack or something. I can see I've got a big clip on the audio there as well, which is actually when you just turn this on and off, it kind of goes crack, which is not great. So I'll just adjust the gain on that one there, just inside the clip. And let's see how that is. I will slice to a new MIDI track. Slicing preset, vocal slices. Ooh, let's see what that does. No, I'm going to go by transient and just the default, I think. All right. Get that happening. Yeah, and it's coming very, very, very quiet. That's my recording, actually. I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn this right up, and then I'm going to bounce that in place so that it's louder, and then try again. So that was my recording that was causing me a problem. I'll delete that one and we'll just go again with this. Slice to new MIDI track. Okay, this should be much better, we hope. Yay! Okay, cool. So we've got on all these different slices, very distorted things, which is nice. So I can play around with that. And if the certain slice is like not exactly how I like it, I might stretch it out. Ooh. That would be repitching because of the warping mode on there, I think. But yeah, so I'll go through and like make a pattern with that. So not, do we do that now? Down a little bit. Maybe like that hit, so I can just delete it as we go. No, not loving that one either. Delete that one. Stop recording for a sec. Make that a longer. And I might play around with that a bit more later, but we won't get too bogged down in that right now. I've got most of the elements that I want. So basically the next thing I'll do is just record these loops over onto the other side into the arrangement view so I can start spreading them out. And then I would probably add some more synths and instruments. There'll be some more layers of sounds. Oh, and I'll definitely put like a nice tremolo and auto pan on the pad. So usually, let's make sure I've recorded a bunch of stuff here. Let's get rid of anything that's there that's going to cause a problem. All right. And I'm a bit old school with this. I just record all of the parts together and then map them out along the timeline rather than queuing them up. All right. like a little bit of that bass fiddling around. I'll make sure I've got the one that's the higher bass. Tap across to the other side. Just get a little bit more. Let it get to 32 bars so that we've got like a nice round number. Okay, brilliant. So we've got a little groove going. I've got it now in the arrangement view where I like to live from this part on. With the acid, that's doing it in its little short loop, but I might stretch it out to that one that we recorded with all of the different like changes as we went, so that we've got like a nice growing and changing thing. And yeah, I will just show this really cool, the auto pan, the new tremolo is really nice. As I mentioned, I really like the trance gate, which has been around forever, but the tremolo is cool for other effects, that sort of that gated stuttery thing. I mean, the panning's like amazing. I love this sort of soft, warm vibe. Maybe make the rate dotted. I'll definitely mess around with that a lot and get a bit more like sort of rhythm in my pads. And usually I'd layer another couple of different pads, some more strings and things, and have them rhythmically doing like slightly different stuff so they all sort of move around together. But yeah, I reckon that's where I typically get, and I'll keep working on it and finish it. I mean, I started in music really, really young, like recorder and piano, and did classical music and jazz all through school and high school, and then had a raging burnout and stopped it for ages and just became interested in, I did a lot of engineering kind of study and became a club rat. And then at some point the universe presented that like audio engineering was a thing. So yeah, the sound design and the electronics really worked together well for me with the music stuff. And I haven't been able to stop. I did a little short course at SAE, and I think we used all sorts of different things, and there was like a very early Ableton and Reason and a bit of Logic, like it was all a bit chaotic, but Ableton was really the first kind of a very early version that was way less complicated. So it's been fun working in a new studio space. Mine is a little bit different at home. I'm living in Australia now, so I've got like a beautiful big window, which I really enjoy. But I've got Ableton runs the core of it. And then quite similar to this, I've got like a mixing desk and a patch bay, and then some other synthy bits. I've got a Juno 106 that I really like and I use a lot for strings, and a JV 2080, which is like this rack kind of digital synth thing from the 90s, which has just got like the most amazing percussion and a couple of drum machines. Oh, and the Acid bot that that I'm going to use today, or that I used today, she has traveled all this way because I take her everywhere with me. There's so many things all the time. I've become really obsessed with using gates. Like, I don't know how I learned about gates way back in the day, and now I've suddenly discovered all these different ways to use them creatively, which has been fun. That's more of like a technique thing and not based on any particular plug-in. And also silence. It's like this old digital, like a soft synth that I have that I've rediscovered, and I've been using it heaps again lately. I really like the way that the sequences work in there. Anywhere from like 2 hours to 2 years, really. It all depends. Like this one, it depends on the sort of track. This one is like come out as a bit of like a bop, sort of a fun little jam. I don't think I'm going to overcomplicate it when I finish it. I'm not going to add too much stuff. But sometimes like I can get lost in the weeds a bit with sound design on like really big, like sort of more techno-y, like big room tracks. I maybe will put a bit more detail in. And yeah, the only other time things really take, if something's taking a long time, it's usually because I'm trying to compose melodies or something, and have them move in a way that's not like clicking. But that's why I really like using sequencer-based melody ideas, and you can just like randomize them and get things going and pick the one you like rather than trying to play it out. Yeah, no, I've done that for a really long time. I actually have a track ready here that I didn't use today, but I probably will do that. I record like just long sustained notes and then use that as pads and layer that up for chords as well. I got given a piece of advice when I was early on and feeling like I couldn't afford to buy synthesizers and I didn't have all this equipment. And Ian Pooley, it's an old friend, he said, just use your voice in everything and then that will be like the red thread that goes through. So whether it's like a percussive element, a string, or actual words, my voice is in, I think, single thing I've ever made. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I test everything in the club. Everything in the club always. It's like my favorite part to see how people react to it, especially to get arrangements organized. I find that people moving their bodies to it is a really, really good indicator of if it's working or not. I guess just like be nice to yourself and keep going. The only thing that not really a regret, but like the only thing I think that's ever held me back or made me feel frustrated is when I've gotten stuck. And I think the best advice is just to like put stuff out, move on, get a collaborator, do something, just keep the motion going because yeah, stopping still is torturous.